This is RuPaul's Drag Race Season 11, Episode 2. Good God, girl, get out! Like my acting. So, I only got to watch this episode once. I would have loved to have watched it a second time to kind of absorb it. But I couldn't watch it until like 2 days ago because the DirecTV didn't record, and so I had to use the app, and the app didn't have it, blah, blah, blah. And the third episode is tonight, so I felt a lot of pressure to like hurry up and get these uploaded. So I'm just going off of what I saw with the first viewing. So I did the first episode recap after watching the second episode, so I probably would have had a lot higher and lower, but since I saw them both, they kind of evened out. And what I mean is, a lot of the people that I had strong feelings about in episode 1, they were kind of the flop on episode 2, in every aspect. So it changed quite a bit. I was going to try to comment on every queen, and I was like, why don't I remember these names? And then I looked, there were 15 queens when we started. 15. That is a lot. So even with one being gone, we're at 14, which is a lot. In a 1 hour episode, or even an hour and a half, whatever it is, we're talking about a few minutes, maybe a minute of dedicated airtime per queen. So all those group scenes, all the scenes with Michelle Visage, or this or that, or judging, we're not really getting a lot of one-on-one time. So what you're going to see, standard for any reality show, is there going to be a couple people that will probably make it to the finale who right now are completely not on our radar. That just has to do with what happens in the first few episodes. So we have no idea. Someone like Silky is pulling up a lot of airtime, and what's funny is they're complaining about all the, overacting she's doing, but then they're doing it again. So basically my rule is don't tattle. Ru comes around, she knows what's going on. So they ask him, like, oh, so what do you think of the other team? And you know exactly what they're doing. And they tattle. And I'm just telling you right now, like, oh, well, she knows what she's doing for the camera. And you can practically see Ru thinking, yeah, I know. We all do. Like, that's sort of our thing. And you think about a lot of the people who sucked all the air out of the room. You're talking about people like Bianca Del Rio and Bob the Drag Queen. And that's that same sort of thing, which is like, no, don't be too big unless you're awesome, and then be super big and dominate everyone else. And so it kind of is, are you a Snooki in the match game, or are you a Bianca Del Rio, Judge Judy? They both kind of dominated, but, it's up to them. So they would have been better off just being like, yeah, we're really happy with our team. We're trying not to pay attention to them and focus on our game. But they totally took the bait, and they were like, well, we're just not sure. And, they tried to be a little diplomatic, and of course that doesn't work because Ru walks over and is like, they said that you suck all the air out of the room. So there you go. So I kind of jumped ahead, but they had a picture challenge again, which is, I'm a little bit like, huh? Again, picture challenge? Okay, well, sure. And then the two winners, Brooklyn and Silky. Brooklyn did really well on the first episode, and Silky get to pick their teams. Can I just say Scarlett, who I wasn't that big of a fan, and then does this whole, like, the Malapro, or whatever you call it, where you mix up your metaphors, where she's like, so she's really feeling her oats, but there's other oats here that deserve attention, and I'm like, that's not what the phrase means, but whatever. Gets picked last, and then they're in teams. I do have to say that when you see Silky with her team, and she's working, looks fine to me. Like, I was kind of down on her first episode, but second episode, when she's working, she seemed to have a really good handle. She seemed to give people parts that were a good fit. The choice, the first time I watched it, somehow I missed that like 15 minutes, so I went back and watched it, where she kind of picked her team and addressed her team. And when she talked to Ru and said, good God, her one was Get Out, basically a parody of Get Out, and she basically kind of flipped it, and it was a really smart choice. I kind of in my head had thought, oh, well, she accidentally did that. And then when she explained, she picked all black girls and one white girl so that it fit the storyline. I was like, that is brilliant. I don't know if that was accidental or what. I mean, because I don't know if they were given the script ahead of time and they could look it over or what, but that was a brilliant move. Scarlett was amazing in it. She was so good. which I didn't want because I didn't like her and I wanted her to go home. And then I was like, oh, well, you know, it's pretty dang good. So Silky gave them all these roles. It seemed to be a pretty good match. Her team seemed to be working really well with her. One of the things that made me kind of come off of my like, get Silky off the show was I watched a lot of season 11 promos that they were doing. And in all the promos, like, so they had things like, who's your favorite drag queen? Or here's someone's feet, why don't you guess who it is? Silky in that fit really well and seemed to have a really good rapport with the other girls on the show. And I saw that and I thought, don't judge her off episode 1 because there's more to this story. I don't know that I consciously made a decision, but when you see them and they're all kind of getting along and stuff, at least the promo I saw, they were in groups of like 5. So maybe maybe the 5 that like her were with her, but whatever. So I'm going to try to withhold judgment a little bit as opposed to a lot of people that seem to be just way over the top. So anyway, I'm jumping around. I am always unsure with these acting challenges how much they judge finished product versus in the process. And it seems to be kind of 50-50. So they're going to take your final performance, but they're also taking into account getting you there, which means that you have to be kind of at the top the whole way, as opposed to the dance challenges, where the dance challenges seem to be just however it is at the end. I don't know. We'll see. So we see the finals. They're all really good. We get the, you know, Beyonce, what? You know, they didn't quite get it. We get to the end. So many queens. I can't even go over it. So I'm going to kind of get the highlight. We saw a lot of people that were on the bottom be on the top and vice versa. Brooklyn won the first week and then was in the bottom. We saw a lot of in the middle. Plastique Tiara, who I don't know if I could pick out of a lineup. I know that's so bad, but there's just too many. There's just too many. I need to get flashcards. And then you see them in a drag and out of drag, and they've got, you know, they get their drag names, and sometimes they go by their boy names, and I'm like, oh my gosh, this is too much. So basically, I'm going to, since the show's going to air in like 3 hours, I'm not going to go overboard here, but I'm just going to say that as of now, my options are still open, and I don't see any crazy front runners. Okay, catch you later.